What is music? More importantly, what is music to you? Is it merely a collection of notes and sounds organized in clever rhythmic patterns? Or is it something more than that? Music happens to be one of those things that are shared across cultures. It is an element of life that has been inherent to nearly all civilizations in one form or another. The classic Greek philosopher Plato once said, "Music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and to everything." Music gives us a glimpse into the immeasurable potential of human creation and helps us to understand the endless possibilities of life here on Earth. In addition to that, music simply helps us feel more human. It helps us get in touch with who we really are as unique individuals. While you're thinking about all of that, let me give you a little story about the role that music has had in my life. I did not grow up like most. That is, I probably had more experience with music by the time I was 10 than most people do in their entire lifetimes. Let me tell you how it all started. Well, actually, let's go back for a minute. In the 1930s, jazz and swing bands were all the rage, and my grandfather took notice. Before long, jazz trumpet became the soundtrack of the Sinde household for years to come. Until my dad and uncle came around, that is. Once they came on the scene, rock and roll was there to stay. To my grandfather's chagrin, of course. Meanwhile, on my mother's side, bands and other musical projects were being formed left and right. Born into a large family, my mom was one of 6 brothers and sisters. But one in particular was a standout performer. It was my Uncle Louis, and man, he could play. Dad met Mom, families merged, and here we have the recipe for a super musical family. Now to speak about my brother for a minute. He's 13 years older than me and had the expertise of both my dad and my Uncle Louis bestowed upon him from a very early age. He was a talented player to say the least, and he brought around some of the best musicians that Chicago had to offer. Needless to say, I rarely left his sight. With all of those magnificent, shiny instruments everywhere, I began to play. According to my parents, playing drums was like bliss for me. I didn't want to eat or sleep. I just wanted to play. Fast forward a few years to my first gig. I was at Library Story Hour. I was only 3 years old, and I played blues to all of my adoring fans. I even made it into the local paper. Gigs upon gigs after that, I just could not stop playing. One thing led to another, and bam, I made it into music college. Wow, this was a change of pace. Before college, music was not academic in nature to me. It was just something that I did for enjoyment. Here I was able to refine my approach and become introduced to a whole new world of instruments. Marimba, vibraphone, timpani, world percussion, Latin percussion, and more. I felt like a kid in a candy store, but it was not without a ton of hard work that I was proudly able to graduate and receive my degree. After college, I traveled for several years performing with nationally touring ensembles. With those ensembles, I was able to see many corners of the country and meet so many incredible people. What an adventure. Music is indeed an unstoppable force in my family. As a matter of fact, it has already made its way into a whole new generation of family members. I have had the privilege of watching my nephew flourish in his middle and high school band programs. Music brought me countless experiences that I would never forget and introduced me to lifelong friends. As a matter of fact, it is only through music that I would have met my wife, Rachel. Nowadays, I spend my time in the pursuit of music on a larger scale. It has become my goal to help a new generation to appreciate the value of music. I consider myself so lucky to have the life that I do, and music is at the very root of it all. Music, then, is no doubt more than just a collection of notes on a page. It is an agent of self-discovery and self-expression. Music plays a vital role in all people's experience of the world around them. So now, I challenge you to think about the role of music in your life. Everyone has a story. So my question to you is, what is yours?